Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about The Unseen by Bryan Smith. This is from Grindhouse Press, and it is the third book in my unofficial slasher book trilogy that I decided to read and review. I started with My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. That was followed by Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. And then we have The Unseen. This one is quite a bit different than the other two in that the slasher connection is the fact that the main character, Allison Cook, is a super fan of Friday the 13th, the Friday the 13th franchise. And so Allison is at a horror convention with a couple of her friends, and she meets this guy who says he's got something to show her, and she wants to be a little wild. She's like, hey, maybe I could hook up with this dude. He's very good looking, and he says he's got something to show me. That could be interesting. You know, she's a little leery, so she texts her friend and takes a picture of the guy and everything. You know, she's just in case. But what the guy shows her, they go up to his room, and what he ends up showing her is a Friday the 13th sequel that shouldn't exist. At first, she thinks it might be a fan film, but it's got like movie stars in it before they were movie stars, and Tom Savini special effects, and it's called Friday the 13th Part 9 Homecoming. Hopefully I'm not giving too much away here. But anyway, this movie should not exist. And she ends up eventually theorizing that it might be from an alternate dimension. But after seeing this movie, things get crazy. Yeah, I don't want to tell you too much more. But the whole alternate dimension thing is on the back, so I feel safe saying that. So this is it's Bryan Smith. I'm a fan. I like his writing, very straightforward, and he writes great characters. Allison is not a perfect character. There are times when you'll sympathize with her. Other times when you're like, yeah, what the hell are you doing? Maybe you should be in this stuck in this situation because you're not being the best person. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? And then the guy that shows her the tape, wow, he's a piece of work. Ha, man, well written, not a good character. If you know what I'm saying. And then there aren't a huge number of characters in here. Some ancillaries. We've got Allison's friends. We've got the dude that shows her the tape. His uncle is in this, and then there's some other people here and there. But man, I don't want to give anything away. So this is one that's difficult to talk about because it has twists and turns, and I think it goes in places you're not going to directions, that you're not going to expect. But as I said, it's Bryan Smith. It's well written. It was a fast read. It's not a huge book to begin with. Let's take a quick look. It is 147 pages, but I still flew through it, and I wanted to. It was compelling. I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to keep reading. Stupid day job, as always, getting in the way, and my need for sleep. But it still only took me a short time to read it. And if you're a Bryan Smith fan, absolutely pick it up and read it. If you're interested in Friday the 13th, yeah, I would love to see Friday the 13th Part 9 and Homecoming. That would be a fantastic movie to see, the way it's described here. Mr. Smith has mentioned he's considered writing a novelization of the movie. He would have to change it. He can't make it Friday the 13th. It would just have to be some other movie franchise that he's made up. But I'm absolutely down with that. I would love to see that come to fruition. Because just aside from how great this story is, the way he describes the scenes that they watch of this Friday the 13th film are intriguing. They're interesting. And I think that Bryan Smith can pull off writing a fake novelization or a novelization of a fake movie. How would you? I don't know how I should say that. But anyway. Yeah. Oh. Interesting. I just noticed you've got these old VHS tapes on the cover, and I just realized, I haven't looked that closely, that one of them has the name of the movie, but the other ones are names of characters, the main characters. So I'll show you. You can stop and look at it, pause it, try to read it. I'm not going to move it any closer to the camera. Not helping you out. But anyway, yeah. So, not going to say too much more. Do not want to give it away. I mean, this is craziness. Again, I picked this as part of my slasher trilogy because of the Friday the 13th angle, but it is not a slasher. Does not follow the slasher tropes. It's wild. It's well written, great characters. Another great book from Bryan Smith. He's definitely one of my top authors. And he should be one of yours, too. You know what? I don't remember what I gave it on Goodreads. Either a 4 or a 5. If I didn't give it a 5, if I only gave it a 4, it would have been like, because I couldn't give it 4.5. It's just, it's a lot of fun, and it's really interesting. As I said, it does not fall into the tropes of a slasher film. He does some wild stuff. I dig it. I really dig it. The Unseen, Bryan Smith. That's a short review. So there you have it. That's my take on The Unseen by Bryan Smith. So, let's see. Question for you. How about this? Movie franchises. Mainly horror, but not everybody's a horror fan, so you can pick any franchise, I suppose. But if you could find an unknown sequel in any movie franchise, what would you want to see? And the thing about this is this movie was made at the time that a Part 9 of Friday the 13th would have been made. It's not like it's some new movie. So, with that in mind, so not like a reboot, not like a new sequel, but unless your franchise is something current. But, yeah. So, whether it's Friday the 13th or Halloween, whatever. Maybe some other franchises. It doesn't even have to be a franchise. How about any slasher movie? We'll throw that in there. So, man, do I have an answer for this? Well, off the top of my head, my first answer would be I would love to see a new Chainsaw Sally movie. I think there's some Chainsaw Sally stuff in the works, so I'm not sure if that's the best answer. So, if I were to change it up, if I were to say that's not my answer, what would I want to see? Well, Friday the 13th is my favorite of the slasher movies, so I don't want to say that. How about Evil Dead? How about if... I know there's been this TV series, and there's been the remake, but again, following the rules, how about an Evil Dead that came out right after Army of Darkness? A year or two later. Back when they were still young, when they were still fresh. Not that there's any problem with them now. But, Yeah, that could have been interesting. A sequel to Army of Darkness. And I'm going to go one further. I'm going to take this to the next level. Not a sequel to the more well-known ending, where hopefully this isn't going to spoil anything for anybody. So I think it's the theatrical release, Ash, at the end of the movie, because he's back in medieval times, at the end of the movie, goes in the cave, goes to sleep, he wakes up, he ends up back in S-Mart, kills a demon, gets the girl. But the other ending, where he accidentally oversleeps for 100 years, and he walks out of the cave, and it's a post-apocalyptic world. I want a sequel to that. I want a 1992, I don't know when Army of Darkness came out. I want an early 90s Evil Dead 4 with Ash in the post-apocalyptic world. How's that for an answer? Yeah, I feel good about this one. All right, but what do you think? What would you like to see a sequel to? All right. Let's talk about that in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. I try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is EricSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I've got for you today. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.